The fact of the matter is, whether you've been in network marketing for years or just a few days, your family and friends have seen your opportunity and your phone is, as we call it, burnt. If you're anything like me, that's a scary thought. So the big question is, how do entrepreneurs like us, who love the network marketing profession, who no longer want to be that guy, and are tired of convincing people during uncomfortable let's get coffee meetings where they say, what's this all about? How do we market in a way that aligns us with our dream clients and expands our network of upfront and transparent professionals, allowing us to get our time back, our families back, and gain a real passive asset? People like us who value impact over income, we deserve to see our visions once and for all. Join me in this podcast where we'll uncover just how to do that. My name is Eric Sablan. Welcome to Burnt Phone Marketing. Hey everybody, Eric Sablan here with Burnt Phone Marketing, and today is a monumental day for Burnt Phone Marketing Radio. We are recording our 100th episode. Now, it's crazy because we're going to go into the story about where Burnt Phone Marketing came from, because we have a special guest here. She's one of the ladies that actually was interviewed on my show not too long ago. In the first year, I met her at an event. And if you didn't catch Theresa Taylor's podcast, you should go back to a couple of episodes and check out that podcast, because she is an amazing, amazing entrepreneur, businesswoman, and she's taken steps to create some amazing assets online. And one of the reasons why I asked her to do the interview is because sometimes you just need that opening. Sometimes you just need that person that's going to unlock something and give you that confidence. And I know she has it. I just think that she needed the opportunity to be out in front of a big audience. So she already does events in front of live women. She's an amazing entrepreneur in Anchorage, Alaska. But sometimes you see that in somebody and they just need to see it in them. So today, we are going to let her interview the interviewer. Now, she is in a couple, there's two other people that actually interviewed the interviewer. And at our 360th episode, so not 360th episode, but 360 days, Fabian Brown, my business partner, and Michael Dupree, one of my mentors, interviewed me. So she is in a class of some amazing, amazing entrepreneurs and leaders. So I'm going to introduce you to Miss Theresa Taylor to the show, and she's going to interview the interviewer. So, Theresa, welcome to the show.
Oh, my word. Eric, that was an amazing introduction. Thank you so much. And honestly, thank you so much for believing in me. I really, really value your friendship and your leadership in my life. So thanks so much. And thank you for the honor to be able to get to interview you today and learn a little bit more about your story and share that with others, and maybe ask you some questions that maybe you weren't ready for. But I'm so excited to be here. So thank you, Eric.
So I'm turning the mic over completely. I'm going to be the guest. So all of you guys out there that feel that wanted to ask those questions and ask me anything, well, we're firing them away. And Theresa's going to start everything from however she wants to start it. So fire away, Theresa.
Well, tell me your earliest memory, Eric. No, I'm just joking. Don't do that. Well, first, I wanted to, okay, so when I met you, Eric, we were at this event, yeah. And there was something about you, and I was like, I didn't know a thing about you. But I felt like I connected with you there. I had my little booth and was talking with you, and then just shortly after that, you asked me to be on your podcast, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy has a podcast, and I never knew anybody with a podcast, but I was so flattered. But I'm so curious, how did you get into podcasting, and maybe a little bit about that process and what it was like starting for you. And then I also want to know, how did you come up with the name Burnt Phone Marketing?
Okay, two awesome questions. So, guys, lean into your strengths. So I did something called the One Funnel Away Challenge. And if you have been in marketing, you've seen everything. I actually did the One Funnel Away Challenge 7 times. 7 times I did it. I got through it 3. I got the shirt. I got you know how they say that you got the shirt. But in week 2, Stephen Larson, one of my mentors, I actually met him a couple times at Funnel Hacking Live. He literally said, find your platform, find your voice. And what he meant by that was there's different modalities that people listen or learn or absorb or consume. So he says, you can either be, I'm going to start off what I wasn't going to do. You could either be a blogger, and I'm not a blogger, so there's no way I'm going to write on a website or write on anything like that. I don't even like to do emails. I use a tool that creates the emails. He said you could do Facebook Lives, and I noticed that the Facebook Live thing was a little busy. It was really, really busy. And then he said you could do podcasts. And I'd been listening to podcasts all the time, and I'm like, you know what? It's audio. I'm decent on audio. I can kind of talk. I'm in sales, so I can kind of talk. And I just was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I literally decided that I'm going to do a podcast. I'm going to do a podcast. And my first episode that I ever recorded, I actually went back, and it was the Epiphany Bridge script. So literally the way that I started my podcast was I did exactly what they taught in One Funnel Away and did my Epiphany Bridge script, basically who I am, what I do, and what my struggles were and how I got over them. And that was like the gateway to sending out and creating the podcast. It was an amazing, it was just the little nudge. And just so you know, if you notice what I'm doing here is I'm giving you that nudge to push forward. So yeah, I just needed a little nudge, and that's literally how it started. And then Burnt Phone Marketing came up. I was sitting in an event. One of us, a major top earner in a company that I was with, talked about your phone being burnt. Your phone being like you've been through your phone. You went through your phone. You went through your phone. And if you've been in the industry at all, your phone is, as we call it, burnt. And that's a scary thought. And if you listen to the beginning of the intro, it says, if you've been in the industry for a year, years, or just a day, your phone is, as we call it, burnt. And that's a scary thought. And I thought, you know what? Burnt Phone Marketing. What a cool name. It's kind of catchy. And then it was crazy because all of the logos and everything, it just came to me in my head. And the logo that you see on the screen, the logo that you see on the video and in the podcast, it was like an epiphany. I was flying to an event, and I was like, that's what I want to make my logo. And I sent it to my graphic designer. Stay in your lane. That's one thing that I'll tell you guys today, but stay in your lane. I sent it to my graphic designer on Fiverr. He sent that logo back. I'm like, home run. Thank you very much. You are the best. Thank you. I'm going to send you more stuff. So that's how I came up with Burnt Phone Marketing and Burnt Phone Marketing Radio. And that's how I got the start to start this amazing podcast.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And I definitely do love the logo. It's it's perfect. I couldn't imagine it a better way. And yeah, who would want their phone to be burnt? But yeah, when you're in any kind of network marketing, sales, those types of things, you're using your phone for everything, but you're going through all of your contacts. And what a cool representation of that. Okay, so also I have seen a lot of growth in you over this past year. And especially in your podcast, but in other areas, because you also have this awesome coaching program that I went through and really, really helped me a lot. And so I guess my question is, what do you think has been the thing, the one thing that's really helped propel you over this past year and has helped your podcast to grow?
That's a good question. So what's propelled me and made the podcast grow? Number one, and I say this to everybody, number one is consistency. Jordan Meterick said this: it's not that you're not good at something, it's just that you haven't done it enough.
Yeah.
Stephen Larson also says, once you hit your 33rd episode, he doesn't know why it's about 30. Once you've done your 30th live, once you've done your 30th blog, once you've done around 33, 34, something magical happens. You find your voice. And you, for anyone that's about to start a podcast, I just say, you know what? Just get to 30 and find your voice, because you'll be able to find your voice a lot easier. Now, we had a little bit of a foundation because I was reading the book Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. And he talks about the 4 different types of leaders or characters, attractive characters. And I was driving down the road one day, and this is how Burnt Phone Marketing became a interview type show. I'm driving down the road one day, and because I'm always in my car listening to audios, because I think that, drive time is the best time to get and really think. Sometimes I'll drive and I'll take a longer route because I'm into whatever the audio is.
Yeah.
I'm driving to meet a buddy of mine, and all of a sudden he's talking in a chapter about the reporter, the different attractive characters. And if you haven't read the book, you got to read the book. But I'm going to tell you that there's 4 characters. And all of a sudden he talked about the reporter. And I said, you know what? That is an amazing way to bridge the gap between my audience and a really, really amazing audience. Is just be Oprah Winfrey, be Arsenio Hall, be Jay Leno, be that person that everyone connects people through. And when I found my voice and I started asking people, and one of the biggest things that helped me grow recently was I actually interviewed a guy, one of my mentors, Ian Lenhart, and he had Ray Higdon and Fraser Brooks and all of these people on his podcast. And he goes, Eric, throw a Hail Mary. You never know who's going to say yes.
Oh, I love that.
And that's what's created exponential growth, literally right into the podcast. And it's the growth of the podcast has overflowed into the growth of the coaching program, which is overflowed into the growth of everything. So that platform, that publishing platform, is such a dynamic way to build your brand, build who you are, and build your influence.
So
I hope you answered the question.
I think so. I don't even know what the question was anymore, but what you said was really good. And it makes me think also, what is the main way of how you get it out there? How do you let people know about your podcast?
Well, first off, you start like any network marketing company. You start like any business. You kind of go to family and friends and kind of talk to them and then put it out there. And then the biggest thing that actually really, really helped me was because I was interviewing other people. Mm-hmm. They call it Dream 100. And if you haven't read the book by Dana Derricks, as you can tell, I'm referencing a lot of books because I read a lot of books. I listen to a lot of audios. Dana Derricks has something called the Dream 100. And it's a way to present yourself inside their network, but also present them to your network. So that right there really, really helped me grow my podcast, because I'd be like, hey, Ian, do you want to do a JV where, we'll give something away on the show and you can promote something for you. And then you promote that to your audience. I promote that to my audience, and it's a win-win. You got to remember, you got to have the abundance mentality, because some people are going to attract to you. Some people are going to attract to Ian. Some people are going to attract to different people. So just if you put it out there, the abundance mentality, there's so many people on Facebook. There's so many people online. Just think abundance, because that right there is going to help you with your JVs, and that's a joint venture. That's going to help you with your affiliates, which is going to help you with grow your influence in your network and everything. So just remember that it's the abundance mentality. That's one of the things that's really grown. Dream 100 and abundance mentality has really helped me grow.
That's really good, especially that abundance mentality. A lot of people, and I even struggle with it sometimes, is thinking maybe there's nobody who needs this or nobody who needs to hear it. But the truth is that there are billions of people on this planet, and social media allows us to connect with those people. And then truly also there's nothing new under the sun, right? So even if you have this great idea and you think that somebody else has done this idea, well, doesn't mean you can't do it. You're gonna do it and put your own little flavor to it. There's thousands of coffee shops. They all sell coffee, right? But they're not worried about not having enough people to see or hear or share about them. So yeah, the abundance mindset is a really big deal. So thanks for sharing that.
And one thing that you just said, I want to touch on is you talked about like your message or your little niche or whatever you're doing. I want you to think about this. A lot of us go to, and this is a good analogy because a lot of people can relate to it. You know, when you're going through something, and I mean, I used to go to church all the time. You go to church, and it's like that person, the preacher, the priest, the whoever is talking directly to you, like he was listening to all of your text messages, your phone calls, and whatever it is. And then you're like, aha, that was it. Just know that there's people out there that are looking to fix their mess with your message.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real good. That is really good. So can we talk a little bit about your course and how that all got started?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So you had this podcast, and now suddenly over this past year, you've also created this course called Become the Upline. Well, that's a part of it, right? With these two other guys. So first, I want to know how you met these guys, and how did you move from like doing podcasts? Well, you're still doing it, but how did you also pull that in? And then I might have some other questions that come along with this, depending on how you answer it. But yeah, tell me the story of how you got started on that.
Okay, so I want to just tell you like this. For the first year of the podcast, I was all over the place. Like I was spending $700, $800, $900 a month on tools and all of this stuff, all of these little things, like all of these subscriptions, like, like, I don't know. I was just spending, I looked at it like ClickFunnels and this funnels and that funnels and whatever it was and some ManyChat stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be this person. I'm going to be the funnel builder. I'm going to be this person. I'm going to be the ManyChat guy. I'm going to be this person. I'm going to do agency, which is everything. And I'd gone to events and I'd spend thousands of dollars on events. And one thing that I realized was I didn't have the thing. I didn't have a core offer. I didn't have what I represented myself. I was an affiliate and I did well, but you're still an affiliate. You're just overstacking on top of those things. I didn't have something that was mine. And I aspire for all my students to what I call ring the register, because the minute their Stripe account goes, it's like they're validated. Like it could be $7, it could be $3, it could be $9.97, it could be $24.97, it can be $10,000, $20,000, whatever it is. But my goal for all of my students is to ring the register. And that being said, the way that I found these guys, it was a godsend. Everything was literally shut down. Well, before that, I was doing podcasts and I reached out to David online. David's the CEO of our company. And I said, hey, would you like to be on my podcast? And he goes, okay, cool. And then it was like a normal marketer. He goes, hey, I have a course that gets me 100 leads, blah, blah, blah. I looked at his course. I said, sure, send me the link. I literally bought that night. And then he goes, you should meet Fabian. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I reached out to Fabian, and Fabian, amazing individual, awesome at sales, was really like high in his network marketing company, owns a nonprofit and owns a record label, or is partners in a record label. And I met him and I'm like, dude, you want to be on my podcast? And we just like clicked, like Fabian and I just like clicked on that podcast. And I recorded that podcast in my office because at that time we were still going to the office. Mm-hmm. And then the coronavirus hit. And David reached out to me and says, hey, do you want to partner up? And it's funny because my mentor, Michael, was like, you need to like lay it out, like strategically do all of the stuff. Like if you're going to incorporate, if there's a percentage or whatever it is, do it. And then David sends me a note. He's like, hey, I just want to make sure that this partnership's legit. I want to do it right. So like in that time frame, like a week, they both were like the people that I was working with, and then the mentor that I was listening to, all meshed together in one day, basically 1 week. And we just incorporated, and we were selling. I finally had my core offer. I finally had the thing that I could sell. We incorporated, and we were selling a $20 subscription model. That's what it started off with, a $20 subscription model. And since then, it's blown up from there. We'll do another podcast on that, but it's blown up from there. It went from 0 to over 6 figures. We have a 6-figure coaching business in less than 9 months. We go live every Monday through Friday. We have a Facebook group that went from 0, actually 38 people, because that's what we converted a Facebook group. So if you have a Facebook group, you can convert one that's dead, from 0 to just under 2,000 people, and have sold all of our products through that Facebook group. So in 1,900 people, we've done, over $170,000 in revenue.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Hey, speaking of your Facebook group, what do you think is the number one thing that people should know if they're running a Facebook group? Like in terms of building community, what advice would you give there? Because you guys have done a really great job inside of your group to create. I mean, I'm in there, and there is such community in there. People post and ask questions, and they comment on each other's things. So what do you think would be the number one thing that helps that?
I would say there's 2 things. Number one is consistency and value in the consistency. Yeah, like cool. They've got to pull something out. And my goal, and every time we post something, the goal is to them to take an action step that shows them some sort of win from what they learned or what they got from a question that they got, like an epiphany, like what's the number one thing that this, and then they're like, boom, epiphany. Do I have a core offer? Boom, epiphany. Like I don't have a core offer. I don't have this. And they'll keep coming back to the well because they understand that you've moved the needle as they come through your free Facebook group, which can convert into a paid Facebook group, which you can convert into so many different things. But I'd say consistency, like showing up. And when I say consistency, I don't mean showing up every day. I mean showing up with value when you show up with value. Think of it like a TV show. When we used to watch Friends, Thursday nights was the nights. Like people would show up on Thursday night to watch Friends. So if you just think of your group as like syndication, like on Monday it's CSI, on Tuesday it's this, on Wednesday it's Friends, on Friday it's this. Like just think of what people want to hear, what people need on those days, and it'll make a huge difference. Like we start our week off with start your week off strong, post your goals. There's no Facebook group. I mean, there's a lot of Facebook groups that do that I'm in because I model what they're doing. But if someone comes in and is like all over the place, just posting their goals and posting their wins Monday and Friday, that's providing value to them. That's like, I won something. And you'll see that if someone's inside the group and you're doing that, that's a big nugget. Like post your goals for the week on a Monday and your wins on Friday. Imagine what I just said. They're posting their goals and they're getting a win on Friday. So just by that, you're already becoming an authority, an influence. You're becoming somewhere where they come to strengthen themselves. And people, when they come to strengthen themselves, they want to know more and more and more. So that would be like a nugget that you guys could do. And you, with Facebook groups, you can post that all the way out 30 days in advance. And
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know those scheduled posts are so. Well, okay. Scheduled posts have everything to do with time management, and I love that because I'm big on time management. So that brings me to my next question. Mm-hmm. How do you all of this in your week? Like, what does your week look like?
My calendar looks like a rainbow. So if I just want to let everybody know, I have like 4 different hats that I wear. Mm-hmm. So number one, I'm a dad and a husband. I'm a family person. So that has spots in my calendar. And then I have a 9 to 5. I mean, they're very flexible, but I'm always on. Like anytime a client reaches out to me, I'm on that client. Like my computer's right here, my other computer's right here. Like I'm ready to go and support them all the time. I just schedule my day. Like I schedule it like you wouldn't believe. It is an amazing way to schedule your day. Fabian does a great training right now on winning the week and basically opening up your day and then cashing it out. He does a phenomenal training on that. And that I think that's actually in the free group. I might actually just tag that in there, but that's in the free group to start your week and win your week. And it's a big deal. Like calendars. That's how I do it. 100% calendars and leverage. Like if I know I can't get a job complete, I will find the person that can do it. And I will find the person that is good at it. And that I'll lay the structure on what the expectations are on how it needs to be done. But then I'll always say, Josh, it's super cool that you're going to do this. I trust your judgment. Because that gives them ownership of that task. So, calendar and leverage, big deal.
Do you ever schedule in your own personal time?
So inside my calendar, it says dinner with Jessica. Inside my calendar, it says, basketball with the boys. Inside my calendar, it says it says whatever. It says lunch with Tim. It says call blitz.
It says I'm gonna go get a pedicure.
It says massage for Jessica. Like it literally we're gonna go because I'll just drop her off and then wait in the car. So that's the funny thing. I'll drop her off. She'll get her massage. I'll sit in the car and work.
Yeah.
Get stuff done because it doesn't matter. You don't have to be in your office to be working now. It's such an amazing thing. I mean, Google and Apple just switched to 3-day work weeks.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Boom. I mean, that is amazing. I mean, everybody's going to move to that 3-day work week. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to help out all the restaurants and all those other, those other locations that were only busy, from 5 to 10. Now they can be busy all the time because they're the pockets of their day. Like I think that the biggest thing that you're going to see in the next year and a half, 18 months, is a way to create time management. And if you can create a course in time management that actually helps people that are working 9 to 5 but working remotely and get their, in the best words, their shit together. Mm-hmm. And their calendar dialed in, it's a home run right there. Because that's open to everybody.
Mm-hmm. So interesting to hear about the 3-day work week. And it really makes sense. My husband has been working from home since last March, a year ago, when everything closed down. And he he just gets things done. And then he's got all this extra time, right? Kind of like you. It's like you're there, you're on call, you're doing your job, but at the same time, you've got this downtime. Whereas, so now if we go to this 3-day work week, productivity, we do so much more with our days when we cut down the time we have to do it. Yeah. And so that's really exciting. And it would be a really great shift to see more companies switch to that, to free up time for them and their families, but also to really hone in on their jobs and get things done the way they're supposed to at a faster rate. So
remember what Darren Hardy talked about in Insane Productivity. He talked about imagine if you're going on vacation tomorrow.
Yeah.
How effective you are and how you get that done. With working a 3-day work week, you're back-to-back meetings. You're doing things where people are very efficient. You're laying out an agenda. You're doing what normal people should have been doing with their meetings. And there's no water cooler time. There's no gossip time. There's not that time, which I think is going to be extremely important for productivity in the workplace, because there's just not that time. There's not that time to sit and complain or talk about the water cooler or talk about the football game or whatever it is. It's like there's just not that time. People are very, very efficient with their time. And I think the people that are super efficient with their time with this 3-day work week are really, really, really going to excel. And I'm glad I had a jump start on this whole process running these 4 different verticals.
Yeah. That's so exciting. I could talk about productivity and time management all day. It's such a fascinating thing for me. As a mom, you turned into a dad, and your life changes at different points. And so, with those new changes, you have to learn how to fit things in and manage your time in a more productive way. So yeah, anyway, I love that stuff. But okay, so we're talking about the future now. So I'm really curious, do you have any future plans right now that might be in the works or might even just be an idea that you're thinking of? I'm curious to know that.
For the podcast or just for core offers or?
I think just whatever. I am interested in the podcast, if there's maybe some plans that you tend to do that. But I'm thinking Eric, what is Eric's future 5 years from down the road? What is something that you would love to see happen?
Oh man, you got me stumped on that one. So, 5 years down the road, I want to solidify the Clever Moneymakers business. And I do want to keynote on a stage, either about podcasting or about coaching. I've always wanted to travel and just and coach or teach from stage. And guys, with this Zoom thing, that's happened. We've been able to literally every single day go live and be in front of an audience. I do want to be in front of a large audience, but that's one of the things. So becoming a speaker would be awesome. And then as a business, as Clever Moneymakers, I do want to hit that 7-figure mark, that 100K a month, or it doesn't have to be. It could be 7 figures in 1 month. It doesn't matter. Just I want to be able to hang my hat on that. And it's not about the money. It's more about if we make $1 million at Clever Moneymakers, we've had to help so many people create their 6-figure business. Mm-hmm. And a 6-figure business is amazing. It's fun to be able to say that we have a 6-figure coaching business. It is amazing because there's just not a lot of people that hit that mark. And 2020 was just an amazing year for our business, and that's what I see. I see being able to help more people. I see, I have a grandbaby, so I have grandbabies, so it's all about leaving an inheritance to our children's children, and the fact that I have faces to the inheritance of my children's children makes me work even harder and harder.
Yeah, that's so good. I love your heart. That's so good to hear. And it's true, Eric. I just know that you're gonna reach that mark. I know you're gonna reach 7 figures. And what I've really enjoyed seeing from the program is from the very first one, the one that I was in, the official program, to, you guys took that and you gave your all and you served how you could serve, and that was awesome. But then what's really neat is that when that first one ended, you guys took time to assess everything that happened in that first program and what worked and what didn't work and how can we serve people better. And I think that is so valuable for any entrepreneur to know, to look back and assess what things worked and what didn't. But because you're doing that, I can already see the difference in what you guys are sharing and what people are posting. And I think that's so beautiful. So you guys just keep doing that and you're going to make it. And yeah, here I am. I mean, it was a hard year for me. It was a really hard year for me, but and I think one of the biggest things that has helped, besides my faith in God, was you believing in me, and just your intro here to. You're so kind. Your intro here to this episode, saying that sometimes we just need people to believe in us. Because of your continued belief in me, like I feel like I've really gotten a lot of direction, and just this past month, I launched my own thing, and I rang the register, right?
Yes.
So the more that you are just adding value and teaching people from the right place, and you are, the more effective that you're going to be in their lives, just like you've been in mine. So I have complete faith, without a doubt, that you guys are going to hit that 7 mark probably sooner than you think. So
I thank you. Thank you so much for that, believe it. That means a lot to us, because you are one of our key students. You're one of the avatars that we actually glean a lot of our lenses through. So just know that you're one of those ones. So
thank you.
Super excited for that.
Okay, Eric. Well, anything else that you want to add to today? Like anything about, this is your 100th episode. Maybe leave us with a couple thoughts of what you've learned so far, and any gratitude of thanks that you'd like to share.
Thank you, because I was about to do that. So first off, I want to just thank the audience, because without the audience, these would go out and no one would listen. And it makes a difference when I take a look at the analytics. So if if this is the first episode you listen to because Theresa promoted it, or if this is your 100th episode, I thank you. Gratitude 100% to you. All of the guests that have turned my life around, that have given me a nugget every single time. I mean, think about it. I've had 100 people that I've spoken to intimately on a podcast interview that have given me their time, their nuggets, their teaching. So for that, I'm extremely grateful. And for all the future people that are coming through, that are going to listen to these podcasts, that are making a difference, that are taking that step for their coaching program, or taking that step in their network marketing company, or taking the step into network marketing, into this wonderful, wonderful profession. I'm grateful for you for actually listening to me and finding me. And then overall, just 100 times gratitude for everybody that come into my life, that have pushed me, that have pushed me down, because your haters are your haterade. Just know that. And I've had a shift in the last couple of months. Is like a lot of the people that were like, what are you doing with this network marketing thing? What are you doing with this? You're selling your soul. You're doing all this. How do you have time for all this? I just want to let everybody know that as you're consistent, and as you continue to push through and take the arrows in the back, and take those late nights that, like Eric Worre says, you're going to have to like take some status down for a little while to get the status back. But the status that comes back is going to be tenfold. Just know that whatever journey you're in, wherever you're at, whatever position you're at, whatever part of that hardship that you're in, as the tunnel gets wider and that little dot gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you come out of the other side, and those people that were hating on you, that were giving you the worst, are cheering on the side, just remember, you're in the race and they're in the audience. So I push all of you guys to continue and push through that, and be part of the race and not part of the audience.
That was wild. Oh my gosh, that was so good. That was so good. I'm so glad this is recorded. That is what you will say when you speak to thousands of people on stage. So good. Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for blessing my life and for blessing so many other people's lives through this venue. And thank you for being my mentor.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, like tons of gratitude to you, and continue to do what you're doing. And like I just said, watch what she's doing. Watch what Theresa Taylor is doing, because mark my words, this is June 6, 2021. Mark my words, 360 days from now, there's going to be some massive growth. 4 years from now, there's going to be some massive growth. And when you continue to do what you're doing, like Malcolm Gladwell says, when you get your 10,000 hours in, you will be a master at what you're doing. So just know that we're on the journey together, and I'm 100% supporting you. And guys, listen, everyone that's listening, this is what a coaching call sounds like with me. So I can't hashtag live because we're not live, but if you ever wanted to get on a coaching call with me, I'm going to put my calendar link in the show notes, and you can hop on my calendar. We could do a triage call, a strategy call, whatever kind of call you want. And I'm just going to give back to you guys. I'm going to pour into you exactly like we did here, but it'll be for your business. So that being said, make sure you listen to the full outro. I'll create a brand new outro, which will basically offer all of you guys a strategy call or a triage call to hop on my calendar and maybe just get that tiny little shift, that little 1 millimeter shift that Theresa got a year ago and that she's getting right now, that you need to rewrite your story. So on that note, thank you guys for listening. 40 minutes, we went just on time. So thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Burnt Phone Marketing Radio.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you so much for your listenership and your continued support of Burnt Phone Marketing Radio. This is Eric Sablan, and as a bonus to you, I wanted to give you guys a free strategy session with me. All you have to do is go to www.burnphonemarketing.com/book a call, and we will set up a strategy session to help you get unstuck. So that's www.burnphonemarketing.com/book a call.